desoldering gun. So the desoldering gun that I'm using is the ZD915. That thing is amazing. What a desoldering gun does, this one has a vacuum built in. It's going to suck that right out, that solder right out. Okay, so we reread it a little bit. We want gravity to help us out. Yeah, it's free, gravity's free. So what'll actually help is if you take this, the board, and you face it, you know, with the solder that you want to suck to go down into the desoldering gun. That way you don't have, you know, it's not, you know, sucking against gravity. There we go. Let me just show you, see if the cam will be able to pick it up. Oh yeah. What you hear is a little vacuum sucking it up. Okay. Oh, there's actually a little bit more solder there. There we go. As you can see, the battery's coming right out. Actually, it's a little solder left, but so on one side it came right out easy. The other side, I'm just gonna heat it up again. It'll pop out. There you go. Goodbye, battery. Goodbye, battery. That battery is out. And then this bad boy. Again, you don't have to do this, but you know, you can either wick all this off, or I just kind of make it look a little nice. No big deal there. Yeah, I can wick it off. I mean, we're not going to be using those holes at all. The nice thing about the SRAM and FRAM in this case is actually the fact that this, in this, you know, with the N64 memory card, it's not like the Sega Saturn where we had to, you know, ground it out and change whether it's high or low, where it's getting its voltage from, essentially. This one's straight up, as easy as you can get. Just take the old one off, put the new one in. There's not going to be any type of adhesive. I've never seen an adhesive on these. And this is my third? I think it's my third one now. Yeah. There we go. A little bit straighter there, right? So, again, you remember we did the tinfoil last night. Well, there's not that many, you know. This one I like to use Kapton tape instead of tinfoil to kind of keep the heat away from the other elements, just because, you know, the other elements don't like to get too hot. So you'll see there's a lot of small elements on here. So that's kind of what we're protecting from with the Kapton tape, just to help insulate it a little bit, so it won't get, when we're heating it up, it hopefully won't affect it as much. So, real simple. Again, there's nothing on the back of the board, so don't have to worry about that at all. And we're going to start the process, same process we did literally last night. It is the exact same process. Move everything, especially the solder, out of the way, because this is going to get a little hot. Don't want to melt with plastic, put that over there. So again, 365 for Celsius and about 55 degrees have your, oh no, sorry, 365 degrees Celsius at about 55 for the fan. Okay, now we know there's no epoxy under here, so we can kind of just go around with the soldering the hot air station. Okay, again, let that do all the work. Let it do all the work. Okay. There we go. Let it do all the work. Again, be patient. Go right around the pins. Again, this is a situation where we know there is no adhesive underneath. It's just these pins we need to heat up and then just slowly take off. Nice and easy. Patience is the key. Don't stay in one spot for too long. Okay. Well, thought it would be taped down. There we go. You can use the helping hands as well. Got mine like right behind me, but yeah, taping it down helps insulate it and helps keep it in place. Again, just keep on going. And again, there should be no force. No force whatsoever. Should just pop right off. Okay, don't use any force because you don't want to rip any pads. I can see one side's already lifting up. The other side's going to be soon to follow. Oh, I can feel it. I can feel it pop up a little bit here. And there you go. Goodbye. Goodbye, chip. Goodbye, chip. So then you always want to inspect, make sure you didn't rip off any pads. We look good. No pads ripped off whatsoever. Everything looks good down there. So, can't get much smoother than that. Literally, you want to put this back on? Here it is. Put it right back on. It's, look at that, huh? There we go. It's just a little small, right? So if you look, all the pins still there. Could definitely go ahead and put that back on if you ever, for some reason, wanted to. And this one, that's what the SRAM is, in case anyone cared. If it wants to focus. No, it doesn't want to focus. Let's see, will this camera focus on it? Oh, it will. Wow, this camera actually will. See? Ta-da. Right off. It gives you all sorts of nice stats under here, right? So you got SRAM, which we're changing to FRAM. 256K. That's as much as you can go. This is the battery that you would use for it, the BT1 battery. CR2032. Very common battery. Very common. However, we're not going to need that battery anymore. So it's good to just clean out your desoldering iron here. Always keep your tools clean and happy. Alright, so easy stuff. I'm going to boost up the soldering iron a bit. And grab my solder wick, which I had right here, bada bing. And we're just going to take all that solder that's on these pads, you know, not even all of it, just most of it, and just get that out of there. So we have nice fresh solder to work with. That'll be nice and flush on the board. Just kind of drag it right along. Again, we're just picking up that solder, that's all. Before we put that FRAM down. So like I said, even though my other pack is still saving, you know, it's only a matter of time. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to do that one as well. Probably going to do that one off camera. At the end of the day, you can see it, right? So this will give you everything you need to know if you want to do it on your own, which I'm going to highly recommend if you have this, if you have an N64 Memory Pak, because otherwise, although I'm personally not into Pokemon, if you're into Pokemon, all your Pokemon snaps will be gone. Gosh, that would be horrible. Oh yeah, look at those nice clean pads, kind of looking at them. Oh yeah, Nice clean pads. Now one thing to note when you do this, when you put this back into your N64, you do have to go ahead and reformat it. What it'll do is it'll say, it's corrupt. Don't be scared, that's normal. What it's trying to say is, you know, essentially a game like Perfect Dark or Diddy Kong Racing or Doom 64 or I think Mario 64, all of them that use the memory pack, they'll just go ahead and give you an option to reformat it. Reformat it and you're good. Alright, let's put the FRAM on. Again, another fine product from Ramtron. To be honest, this is like the only supplier I feel like of FRAM. Like I can't find FRAM anywhere else but from this company, Ramtron. Okay, as always, line up your IC. Again, you'll see when you're looking down at this little notch right here. So you want to match that up, in this case, with the notch on the chip. See, so now, ta-da, you're going in the right direction because you see you have the dot and that little notch. Okay, so it's facing the right way. Now we just have to line up the pins, and just like before, we're going to tack it right in, okay? Make it as straight as possible. Make sure the pins line up on both sides, very important. Nice and clean, that's what we want here. That's what we want, boys, nice and clean. And take your time with this. Make sure it's all lined up and it's good. I like to look at it from all different angles, and then when you're happy with it, you tack it right in, and you're gonna be in great shape. Nope, I just hit it with my head. My headphones here. I apologize. I mean, it's looking good on my end here. I'm good on my end. Bring over that soldering iron. I think I'm gonna leave my soldering iron around 340. Should be good for this. Always use no clean flux. I'll tack that one in right there. Okay, again using a small tip. You could drag solder with a knife tip if you wanted. Not a big deal there. Okay, now we get that semi-tacked in, we'll just heat it up again and hold it to make sure it's flush on the board. Now we're going to do the same thing on a different side. So in this case, we're going to lift it up and turn it. And we're going to tack it in the opposite corner. Make sure it's still lined up. I'm actually going to take this off so I can see a little bit better. Yeah, put it right there for now. And push it down, make sure it's nice and flush. And there you go. So you kind of tacked in both in the angles there, so it shouldn't move. See, so that's not going to move. It's tacked in. So now you can go right along. More flux. And go to town. Actually, I'm going to take off this tape. You really don't need the tape after you've done the, rework. and then you let it cool. Make sure to let it cool, because if you don't let it cool, then what you have is a mess, because you could rip up those other resistors. So just let it cool, and then you can take up the tape. Make sure it's back for you guys to see. And then just like before, yeah, just because I moved it so much, I might have. Use as much flux as you want. Why? It's just gonna burn off most of it, and if it doesn't, you're gonna take it off anyways with some high isopropyl alcohol. Okay, make sure not to bridge, and if you do, like I said on one of the last streams, just go ahead and move the blob out. That way, you know, you'll go ahead and, you know, the solder's attracted to the heat. So again, if you move the blob with it, it'll come right with your iron, come right out, and bada bing, you're good. Make sure to get every leg. You want every leg. Put some more flux. We're just gonna kind of clean it up a bit. It's just the flux burning off. Nothing wrong with that. Okay. And then we take our, you know, amazing tool called a toothbrush. It works awesome. And you just clean it up. Dirty mouth, clean it up with orbits. So you remember that, huh? It's a goodie. It's a good one. Look at that, we only got one more side to take care of, and we are already done with this. That's how quick it is. That's how easy it is. And that's how, really, that's why everyone should do this mod. If you have a N64, especially if you have an N64, because you should have at least one memory card in your collection for sure. This way the kiddies and the grandkiddies can all play your saves and marvel at how good you were at Pokemon Snap or Doom 64, although Doom 64 is on Switch now. Mario 64, they're like, wow. Granddad was that good at it? So yeah, he was. He told you where Mario was going. Yeah, let's get a little flex on this too. Just wiped a bunch of it away. Oh no, we have a bridge. Whatever will we do? Just drag it away, that's all. See? And there it goes. Goodbye. Goodbye. Like we got every pin, so let's go back, put some flex on it, and then just clean it all up. There we go. And you're done. You have 2 screws to put back together. 2 security bit screws, because that's Nintendo for you. But 2 screws. And you're done. And just make sure to wash everything down with isopropyl alcohol, just to make sure, you know, there's no flux residue or anything. Dispose of your battery properly, however you choose. And we'll take a little bit more brownie. Ooh, that's too little brownie. And again, I always like to, you know, even though isopropyl alcohol is, you know, should just dry right up, there is technically distilled water in it, which, you know, it's good to just get that all off the board. Just a few seconds of your time. Look at that champion, huh? Look at that champion right there. Oh my gosh. And like that, this has become the greatest memory card for the N64 of all time. And always check, make sure all your pins are soldered down onto those pads, which looks good to me here. And again, turn the board, especially this way, it's so small, you just turn the board. Looks good. Not too shabby, not too shabby, look at that. We're in it to win it. And now we've got upwards of 45 years of saves. All good for it now. So, fantastic. Like I said, all the that's literally all the work. Make sure this, yep, that's good. Just make sure to put it back in just like it was. Boop, like that. No battery needed. No battery to ever replace. And it just slides right on until it goes click. And then 2 screws, security bits, but there you go. Make sure both are nice and snug. And there you go, you're done. Now you get the best darn memory card of all time right there, the N64. See, easy mod, totally worth it, total recommend on this one, okay?
I'm finally facing it all, fearless.